Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to welcome you to the Taffy Orientation for Young Professionals. My name is Jacqueline Epstein, and I'm the chair of the Taffy Young Professionals Division. Our division was established in 2014 with a vision to help young professionals in our industry to build their professional networks and sharpen their technical and leadership skills. The YP division is really a gateway to all that Taffy has to offer as an industry association and a launch pad for young professionals across the industry. As part of the YP division, you'll have the opportunity to network with other young professionals in the industry. You'll gain access to professional development opportunities, a mentorship program, and be positioned for a successful career in the paper and packaging industry. We have a great event planned for you this afternoon. First, you'll hear from Larry Montague, President and CEO of Taffy. Then you'll hear from Taffy's YP leadership team. We also have a fabulous group of industry professionals from each of Taffy's technical divisions here to meet you and talk to you briefly about their divisions. We hope today's event will inspire you, help you learn more about Taffy's technical divisions, here to meet you, and introduce you to some new people and opportunities and help you get more involved. If you have a question during the event, please post it in the chat and we'll answer any questions that come in at the end of the program. It's my pleasure now to introduce Larry Montague, President and CEO of Taffy, as our keynote speaker.
Thank you very much for that welcome, Jacqueline. I appreciate it very much. And I want to welcome everybody here. We really appreciate you being here. This is one of the fastest growing divisions that we have, and there's a reason for that. You'll find out more about that in a few minutes. I wanted to circle back around real quickly on Jacqueline. Her dad was actually on the board of directors about 15 years ago. He was also on the search committee for a new president of Taffy, and that happened to be me. And I asked Jeff when I first met him, I said, how in the world did you get involved with Taffy? He said, my dad pushed me into it. He said, and I didn't know what I was missing. So he's been very active ever since. And then he pushed his daughter into coming on here. And now she's very high up with the Young Professionals Division. So you talk about full circle. Some of you may be somewhat familiar with Taffy and what goes on. And there's a lot of moving parts. Some of you may have participated in standards or tips or gone to a committee meeting or gone to an event or even a training session. So I'm going to try to put all this together a little bit more. Hopefully you'll have a better understanding of Taffy when we're done here. In 1914, there was a group of enterprising people that owned their own mills up in the northeast part of the United States. They got together to figure out what they were going to do about a technical arm of the American Paper and Pulp Association. Because they're shipping out products. It's supposed to be the same one from every mill in that area. They were going to different customers, and people weren't getting the same materials from different plants or different mills. So they said, we got to do something about standards for this industry. So their idea came together to disseminate information concerning matters of production. This group wanted to create a forum where information could be channeled, and the ideas could be exchanged. In less than a year, Taffy was born. At 106 years old this month, September the 23rd, Taffy's going to be celebrating that birthday. And we're still doing a lot of the same, just the way we did how the original group had contemplated. So some of those things are still going on today, I'm proud to say, but a lot has changed. So what does that mean? It means that Taffy has a lot of experience with being a support system, a source of technical knowledge, a place where members and volunteers can come together to share their passion for the industry. And why is that important to you? Well, let me tell you, your employer and your coworkers can only do so much to support your ongoing growth and professional development. But being a Taffy member, you can tap into, no pun intended, being a Taffy member, you can tap into a greater network of innovations, creative problem solvers, mentors, subject matter experts, researchers, and let's be honest, friends, when you make the effort to engage with others through your Taffy membership, not just assessing benefits, but digging in and joining up, you will create a challenge that you will be challenged to think in different ways that you've never thought of before. You'll have support of others through your efforts and become part of something that will continue to be for future members. You'll help them out as you grow. On September the 1st this year, beginning of this month, we celebrated our brand new FY 2020 year. So we're actually in 2022, right now. Our fiscal year goes from September 1 to August 31st. So we just ended 21 last month. And I'm proud to say that it's kind of fun because we bring together, we ask the staff to come up with accomplishments they've done and look back what we've done over the past fiscal year. And I'm tell you something, we had 6 pages of this. It's not too dissimilar to how many pages that Lisa Lockwood sent me for the script. So anyway, Lisa, thank you for that. But what we do with this, we share with our board of directors to let them know what we've done, and then we plan after that for the next year. So a few of those highlights. First off, Taffy finished up fiscal year 2021 in the black. That's 14 straight years. Why is this important to note? Our board believes that having a healthy financial policy shows our members and partners that we take their investment seriously. We do our utmost to make good spending and investing decisions. Speaking about investing, we take the investment in the future of our industry's workforce very seriously. Taffy sustaining corporate members and Taffy Foundation support our over 1,000 sponsored student memberships, ensuring that undergraduate and graduate students will be around the world, that they would have access to technical resources we offer, including Taffy standards and tips. You're all aware of what happened with COVID-19 restrictions, so we had to switch on a dime, and we had our first ever Taffy PIMA Student Summit virtually. 22 universities were represented with 300 students participating, and companies conducted virtual job interviews all weekend while a host of professionals shared their knowledge and expertise. Through sessions, roundtables, and even virtual meal tours, all the students had advantage of learning more about the industry in a very short time period. Between the scenes, a volunteer committee of 62 people volunteered and worked diligently to create as much an in-person experience as they could in a virtual environment. Later in the spring, Taffy student chapter leaders hosted an online student mixer, continuing to build the networks they started during Student Summit. So many things have changed since early 2020 because of COVID, but one thing that has changed for us is needing to postpone our face-to-face events. And luckily for our membership, Taffy volunteers and staff dove headfirst into the world of virtual events. Since early summer 2020 through August of this year, every event was developed for a digital platform. We found throughout the process that our events were now accessible for so many more members and offering education and engagement to a wider audience from all over the world. The International Conference of Nanotechnology for Renewable Materials, affectionately known as NANO, has been held virtually 2 times, as has the Women's Summit. Peers and the International Flexible Packaging and Extrusion Division both hosted their events online. PIMA created an innovation and leadership conference series, and TaffyCon hosted the virtual portion of this year's event back in May. There have been thousands of attendees for webinars and workshops, new technology showcases, and committee meetings. While we've all missed being in the same room together, we must recognize that Zoom, Teams, and other platforms have lowered the barriers for admittance to so many more people widespread all around the world. That doesn't mean that we're not excited about being back together. Last month, as a matter of fact, we had over 2,700 people and 219 exhibitors that came together at SuperCore Expo in Orlando, Florida. It was very exciting to see old friends and meet new ones, to walk the exhibit floor and experience the amazing machinery that runs the corrugated packaging industry today. Next month, we'll be gathering in Atlanta for TaffyCon. Our events team is working hard to make sure face-to-face events are safe for the attendees, and we hope to see some of you next year. Although many members engage with Taffy through our events, virtual or in person, many more are here from technical sources, resources, and support. Taffy standards, tips, useful methods are used throughout the industry. I've been all over the world, and I see these being used in every mill that I've gone into in the last 15 years. We've been certified by the American National Standards Institute, ANSI, as an American National Standards Development Organization. This means that our procedures adhere to standards set by ANSI in terms of openness, balance, public announcements, and due process. Standards, tips, and useful methods are developed through the consensus of technical working groups. They are reviewed by those working groups as well as maintain their accuracy over time. What is amazing is that technical working groups are volunteers. Even cooler than that, you can still get involved in standards without having decades of experience. You'll hear about how a little bit later in the program. We know that many of our young professionals join Taffy through a training course, and Taffy Academy offers in-person and virtual courses. Just this week, as a matter of fact, there are 3 courses going on: Introduction to Craft Pulping and Bleaching course, Extrusion Coating course, and the Paper Machine Operations course. Taffy's instructors deliver content that is unbiased, peer-reviewed, contributing to your ongoing professional development. I'd be remiss if I didn't also talk about TaffySafe. TaffySafe is a program developed by the industry for the industry to deliver awareness level safety training to the workforce and suppliers while maintaining all records in a centralized database for instant verification. The TaffySafe program is a web-based orientation that allows the workforce to take the training online so they'll arrive at a mill ready to go for through gate entry. The orientations are portable with the individual, so once the basic orientation is completed, it is recognized at any mill in the TaffySafe program. There are actually over 120 facilities utilizing TaffySafe as I speak. I wish TaffySafe was around when I was visiting mills in my early sales career. I can't tell you how many times I went to and spent hours and hours of redundant training, even on our own mills that I was associated with. And back then, that was Boise Cascade. So it saves a lot of time, and more people are going home safe, and less recordable accidents are happening. Hey, I'm serious when I say I could talk about Taffy all day long. I'm a little biased, to be sure, but it's a great association, and one that I'm proud to be a part of. Aside from the staff that makes it easy to celebrate our achievements, what truly sets Taffy apart and contributes to its ongoing success are our volunteers and our members. At any given time, there are a dozen of Zoom meetings buzzing with committee members who bring their passion for sharing their knowledge and experience to the table for others. At conferences, you'll see Taffy members proudly displaying their membership ribbons off of their name tag. Some of them are so long now they almost trip over them. So that could be a TaffySafe issue. We're going to have to talk about that later. But it's a great group of folks. They've got more years of experience and really helped the organization out. Matter of fact, some of them are celebrating 30 or more years with Taffy as being a Taffy member now. It's fantastic. Our Taffy Board of Directors and the Taffy Foundation Board of Directors lead us in strategic planning and help guide us to success and growth. And I thank them and all the volunteers and members for their commitment to keeping Taffy around for at least another 106 years. Now you're going to hear some more about the Young Professionals Division from Stephen and Lena. Then we'll be joined by representatives from Taffy's divisions and interest groups. I would encourage each of you to take time to explore the many ways you can engage with all that Taffy has to offer. It might be through using technical resources, attending a training course or event, or you may find yourself digging deeper into joining a committee or two. And I will tell you that I brought up during the SuperCore Expo to one of our board of directors, who's the president and CEO of his company. I said, a couple of these guys from Clemson, they joined Fiscotech or Corbatech committees while they were there. And when I was telling the board about this last month, they said that really looks good on a resume. So keep that in mind when you're looking for things to do with Taffy. So now we're going to take the first step by attending this orientation. It's what you're doing. We appreciate that. Now I'm going to turn things over to Stephen, who will talk more about your YP membership. Take it away, Stephen.
Thank you so much, Larry, and also thank you to all the Taffy division representatives who are here with us today. Hi, everyone. I'm Stephen Bussa, the membership director for the YP division. I want to share with you some ways that the Taffy membership can help you grow personally and professionally. And I can say, based on my own experience and everything I've used, that it's real. Here at the YP division, we aim to create long-term value for young professionals in this industry by helping them build a strong network, providing industry-specific educational resources, and offering leadership and training opportunities. And again, some of the key Taffy benefits that I've personally used, and I know a lot of other YPs have used, include a reduced yearly membership fee. So that's $129 per year until you're age 30. And then Taffy Connect, and that's an online forum that helps you, that lets you collaborate, share knowledge, and expand your professional and personal networks right from your desk. And then also Taffy's e-library. That's a vast resource for technical information, including webinars, publications, and just lots of miscellaneous research that people have performed throughout the years. It's a great resource for learning and developing expertise, and I actually sourced all of my technical resources for my senior thesis from Taffy's e-library. Now, if you're transitioning from a student to your full-time job and would like to get involved with YP, we have something special called a Bridge Year membership. It's designed to help you cross over from a student to a young professional, and some additional benefits that are included there is free access to all of Taffy's standards and technical information papers. That's abbreviated to TIPS. And then your membership cost is only $38 for the first year. And so I really don't see that as an excuse to not become involved. For a full list of Taffy membership benefits, you'll have to visit the membership tab on taffy.org. I know there's been a lot of financial uncertainty and difficulties with COVID this past couple of years, and young professionals are watching their budgets very closely. And Taffy's been a valuable resource for many companies in the pulp and paper industry over the past 100 years. And so we found that companies often jump at the chance to invest in their employees' professional and technical growth. So most of the time you can get your company to actually cover the cost of your membership. If you need advice on how to ask, there's a sample letter called How to Get Your Boss on Board in the Become a YP section of our website at yp.taffy.org. Now I'll turn it over to Lena Schursky, Director of Events for the Taffy YP division, to talk to you about some of our upcoming events, which will provide you some more opportunities to sharpen your skills and meet new people. And just remember, the more involved you become in Taffy, the more you'll get out of your membership.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Stephen. As you mentioned, my name is Lena Schursky, and I am the Director of Events for the YP division. So that means I have the super fun job of planning all events for our division, whether it's in person or virtual, especially over the last 18 months with being in person not being an option. We've had the ability to kind of stretch as a division and push ourselves to find new ways to create engaging programming that can be brought to YPs all across the country and globe by doing that in a virtual platform. And so even though, as Larry mentioned, we're getting back out there and doing in-person events, having these virtual events is something that is going to continue with our programming. So I'm excited to tell you about one ongoing program that we have, which is our virtual mixers. We have quarterly mixers, and our next and final mixer of the 2021 year will be on November 16th at 1 p.m. This is just a great way to take an hour out of your day to connect with YPs all around the world, to stay connected, to socialize, and just stay connected, even though, maybe you can only attend a conference once a year, if that, depending on the circumstances. So definitely stay tuned for this, as it's great to see familiar faces every couple months through the year. From the in-person side, we have HappyCon, which is coming up. So hopefully some of you will be joining us in person in Atlanta. And if you are, there are a couple exciting events that you definitely want to mark your calendar for while you're there. The first is Mentor Match, and this will be on Sunday. So if you're coming in a little bit early, you'll definitely want to take advantage of this event. It starts at 2 p.m. and Taffy has a program called Mentor Match. This is a great way to connect if you're looking for a mentor, or maybe you're in the space where you feel like you would be a great mentor and you're looking for a protege. Either way, this is a great way to connect with people outside of your company, organization, and it can also be outside of your specific industry. So for me, I'm in the corrugated industry, but I could have a mentor in flexible packaging. Whatever you feel is the best fit for you is ultimately the path that you would choose. So with this Mentor Match event, we're having a speed networking event. And basically anyone who's interested in learning more about the Mentor Match program, considering being a protege, considering being a mentor, we are going to have a speed networking event to give everyone an opportunity to network, because we know it can be a little intimidating to make those connections virtually and through Connect or email. So this will be a great way to help facilitate some of those relationships. Right after Mentor Match, we have Cooch Pit roundtables. This is a great opportunity to hear from members of Cooch Pit University and all about the art of paper making and all the details that go into that, and to have questions, to ask questions about the art of paper making, what it looks like to build a career in the paper industry as a whole. So with this, there's just a wealth of information sitting at tables just waiting for you to ask questions and to become involved. So that's a great opportunity as well. And then we have on Monday our Young Professionals panel which is called Preparing Tomorrow's Leaders. And this panel is really looking at how do we prepare that next generation of leaders? So essentially that's how do we prepare YPs to be those managers and to eventually become higher ups within their company. And in doing this, we are looking at having this panel from both points of view of what does this conversation look like from a young professional perspective, and what does this conversation look like from a managerial perspective. So we have 4 great panelists lined up to have that contrast of viewpoints in order to have a very well-rounded conversation on this topic of preparing that next generation of leaders within our industry. So it's hard to believe that 2021 is coming to a close. And this is just some of our offerings that we have for the remainder of the year, but 2022 is just around the corner, which means we'll have more virtual mixers, hopefully have more in-person events, and additional programming like this event, orientation, and other new programs coming to you. So you'll definitely want to keep track of it all, both virtual and in person. And it's easy to do that by signing up for our Taffy Young Professional newsletters. We send them out throughout the year to keep everyone involved, up to date on what's happening within our division, upcoming events. And you can also stay up to date through our website at yp.taffy.org. So lots of happenings, definitely stay tuned, and hopefully we'll see you at our next mixer virtually or in person at some upcoming events. I'll now turn it over to Brennan, our division vice chair, who will introduce our next group of speakers from each of Taffy's technical divisions.
Thanks, Lena. My name is Brendan Augst, and I am the vice chair for the Taffy YP division. As some of my fellow board members mentioned earlier, the YP division is really meant to be a sort of stepping stone into the world of Taffy and the industry as a whole. So during the next part of our event, we want you to hear from some pretty nifty and neat people in the other Taffy divisions and interest groups. We encourage you to get involved in the Taffy YP division and other Taffy technical divisions and interest groups. We'll now hear a short intro from each division. Please don't hesitate to contact each of our division representatives via the Get Involved section on the Taffy YP website, yp.taffy.org. Now I will turn it over to Stephen from the Coding and Graphic Arts division.
Thank you, Brennan. My name is Steve Ottone. I work for Omia, the major supplier of calcium carbonate to the world paper industry. For the last 35 years, I've been an active member of the Coding and Graphic Arts division, and I have to tell you, if I could, I'd do it all over again. They've been wonderful years. Yes, we at the Coding and Graphic Arts division are the ones who oversee the understanding and education of interested people in the finer points of paper coating, paper finishing, printing, and converting. We do so through a series of activities that lead to updated literature and standards, educational opportunities such as short courses and webinars, a series of conferences including the coding track of HappyCon and the Advanced Fundamentals Symposium. These are all worked on by Coding and Graphic Arts people. So young professionals interested in getting involved with our division could choose from a group of opportunities, including maybe start with a local section, get your feet wet and see how it feels to be a volunteer. Maybe you want to get involved with one of our committees. Those would be in the areas of fundamentals, materials, operations, printing and converting. And the latest one we've just developed is in the area of sustainability, particularly around packaging as we move to a future state of sustainable packaging. The Technical Program Committee helps to plan HappyCon. We also always need help with reviews of standards. I've heard that mentioned a couple times in the previous speakers. You may want to participate in our conferences by attending or even being a presenter in your area of expertise. We're always looking for people who are out there actually doing the things to talk about them and educate others in them. And finally, my favorite little gem of a volunteer opportunity is the Fun Run Committee. Each year at HappyCon, we have a fun run that the funds of which go to scholarship for pulp and paper students at the universities. So If you have questions about it, I am your contact with the Coding and Graphic Arts Division. Please feel free to contact me. I can give you some details and maybe help to direct you. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve, and it's back to me. So this is proof that you can be involved in the Taffy YP division and also involved in Taffy's other divisions, as I am also involved in the Corrugated division. So a little bit about this division is that the Corrugated division has two technical committees. Both are extremely active. The first technical committee is the Fiber Testing Committee, and they handle standards, while the Corrugated Technical Committee handles tips and test methods. In addition to having two committees, this division also has an advisory board. So that is how I'm personally involved in the Corrugated division. I am part of the Corrugated Packaging Council as the YP liaison. And so with that, the council basically acts as much like a division council, similar to the other divisions that we have within Taffy. But the unique thing about this is that the members are actually elected to this council. And so what we do is we advise Taffy on different trainings that would benefit the industry or on new products, a whole variety of things that can be just a resource for the corrugate industry as a whole. If anyone on this call happens to be in the Chicago area, I want to just note that our Chicago Taffy local section is fantastic and extremely active. They meet 4 to 5 times a year in Oak Brook, Illinois. So if that's close to you, maybe you want to check them out. They have a What's New meeting in January, a trade fair in May, golf outing in August, and they're always looking for members to join their activities and get connected. So if you're in that area, definitely sounds like a lot of fun, and I would get connected if I was located there. And even if you're not, there's plenty of other ways to get involved too. Another way is the big event that we have as for the Corrugate division is SuperCore Expo, which Larry mentioned just happened this past August, which was really exciting. So this event happens once every 4 years. So it's kind of like the Olympics of corrugate, which is pretty cool. And with that, it's a great way, all the largest corrugated machinery show in the Western Hemisphere. So people are bringing in huge machines, setting them up on the expo floor, and it's just impressive beyond what you could think is impressive. And so it's a huge exhibit. And then we also have, in between then, we have other corrugate events annually that are on the corrugate industry and deal with relevant topics and programming as well. We also have, you can participate in the technical program committee for our events, and we're always looking for young professionals to share their perspective. If you want to get involved, definitely let us know. There's also great ways to participate on the tips committee. This is a great way for someone to be involved that has on the smaller side of time commitment, if that's something that makes you a little hesitant of joining another division. And so the corrugate division just keeps us busy as all the Amazon packages end up on your doorstep. So it's definitely something that's growing and here to stay. So with that, if you're interested in becoming involved with the corrugate division, let us know and we're happy to get you plugged in. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Liina. Good afternoon. My name is Heli Kangas and I work as a technology manager at VTT Technical Research Center Finland, located in Northern Europe. So in this webinar, I represent the nanotechnology division, of which I currently act as a chair. And the target of this division is to promote the use and production of renewable and sustainable nanomaterials, such as nanocellulose and nanolignin. And our main activities really circle around organizing an annual international conference on nanotechnology for renewable materials. And we also are involved in organizing a webinar series on this topic and support other activities such as standardization efforts. So the main, our main upcoming activity is the annual conference in June next year in Helsinki, Finland, and we are really hoping for an in-person event. So it would be a third time lucky. And also the webinar series will continue this year in October and December, and then we are also full speed on planning the next year. And how to get involved if you are a young professional? Well, we have a specific, very active students committee, and also non-students can join this committee. And young professionals are very welcome to join our research committee, and this way you can get involved in the conference organization. And if you have any questions or would like to join, you are welcome to contact me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Haley. I'm Brian George with Thomas Jefferson University. I represent the Nonwovens division, where I'm vice chair. Nonwovens division is a little bit different than the other divisions. We focus on fabrics that are made with a variety of different fibers, but we don't rely on hydrogen bonding to hold them together, unlike paper in many cases. So our main activities at this point are holding monthly meetings. These are all done virtually, mostly by Zoom, sometimes by phone. We have two committees that meet on a regular basis: Fiberglass Mat Committee and the Fiber and Raw Materials Committee. In each of those, we generally have presentations that are given by members of the committee or by people we've invited to address the committee. Some of our recent meetings have focused on masks, fabrics for masks, and things of that nature. We've also talked about sustainability in the nonwovens industry. Coming up, we have a meeting, I think tomorrow, in the Fiber and Raw Materials Committee, where we will have another presentation. So again, we meet on a monthly basis. Young professionals are welcome to join us. We welcome anyone who wants to learn, whether they're young or old. And you don't have to take a leadership role. You can just be there as a member who's willing to contribute to some of our discussions that follow our presentations. Or you can take on a leadership role within one of the committees if you're so interested. So thank you very much for your time.
Hello, I'm Kurt Melberg, the General Manager of the Domtar Nakusa Mill, and honored to be the chair of PIMA. And PIMA is the Paper Industry Management Association. And PIMA's mission and vision really revolves around creating value for the industry as a qualified resource, providing virtual and in-person leadership forums and relevant skill development as a whole. PIMA's multi-year strategic plan really focuses on building a culture of innovation aimed at advancing individuals and, again, the industry as a whole, but in particular YPs. And PIMA is strategically getting more involved with the YP division, and look forward to, as Lena mentioned, the panel, Leadership and Career Development panel at TaffyCon, and also getting very involved with the Student Summit coming up in January in Cincinnati, with really a career focus there in a couple of different ways. So TaffyCon, Student Summit are just a couple of examples of ways to get further involved with PIMA. We always welcome the YP group with open arms and look forward to working with you further in the future. And as always, feel free to contact me at any time. So thank you.
Thanks, Kurt. I'm Paula Hajikian. I am with the Paper and Board Division. I am the Paper and Board Division Chair, and I work for United States Gypsum Company. As far as the Paper and Board Division, our division starts with, stock prep, paper approach, forming, pressing, drying, the heart of the machine, getting into some calendaring and finishing a little bit, winding. Our division is comprised of 3 primary committees. The first is a mouthful, Papermaking Technology and Operations Committee, the PTOC, and they have 4 subcommittees, which I'll talk about briefly. We have Papermaking Additives, which comprise of a lot of chemical companies, the additions to the machine, the way you add the chemicals to the machine. And then finally, a new addition with papermaking fundamentals. We welcome them to the paper and board division. So we go from everything from the science of the fibers and the forming to the application and the chemical additives. In the PTOC, that group is responsible for the technical program committee, so the technical program planning that you see at HappyCon. The 4 subcommittees are forming and pressing, drying, stock prep, and papermaking specialist subcommittee. The first 3 subcommittees are responsible for about 60 technical information papers. So they're very active in working on recruiting and supporting new technical information, new papers as new technology comes out, and then of course upkeep and review of the old tips. The papermaking specialist is comprised specifically of mill companies who want to talk about what problems you're having, forming, pressing, drying issues, and that type of thing. The papermaking tips are extremely useful for not only review or analysis, reference, but also audits on your paper machine. So they're just wonderful guides for you. As far as membership of our division, we see people who work for paper companies, who are in the mills. We have equipment manufacturers, engineering companies, chemical supply companies, and I'm sure I'm missing, some research groups and things like that. As far as what we have coming up, besides HappyCon, we have a lot of technical committee meetings, and these are open meetings and free lunch, so you're welcome to attend. We welcome visitors. Typically, besides meeting business, we might recruit for support on technical information papers, and you do not have to be an expert in an area in order to review a tip. By reviewing a tip, you can learn something and meet more people. Also, besides these committee meetings is the papermaking specialist subcommittee for those papermakers who wake up early. We have a specialist subcommittee meeting before the events. Just keep an eye out on the committee events. And like I said, they're open meetings. As far as besides the tips and the technical committees, our division sponsored awards for leadership, service, technical, best paper, as well as offering scholarships to those in college still. Our division has some books and working on books and publication, which is excellent. And I would like to put in a plug for the PTOC, the Papermaking Technology and Operations Committee. We currently have an opening for a secretary position. So if you're interested in learning more, finding out any details, please feel to contact me through the, or look me up through the yp.tappy.org, or contact Lisa Lockwood because she needs more emails. So thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Janesha Hamilton. I work at Ube America. We are a nylon resin supplier within the U.S., U.S., Canada, Mexico, Europe, and Spain, Asian countries as well. And within Taffy, I am the Young Professional Liaison for the International Flexible Packaging and Extrusion Division, IFPED for short. Within IFPED, we strive, I guess, to supply highly valued education, innovation, and technical advancements within the flexible films and laminates industry. A few of the big events that we hold yearly are the International Flexible Packaging and Extrusion Division Conference. It has been in person in previous years, but this year that was a virtual conference. We have the extrusion coating course. We have the Taffy European Place Conference, and the Place stands for polymers, laminates, adhesives, coatings, and extrusion conference. And also we have the film extrusion course, as well as the film processing and coating and circular economy pre-conference symposium. So these are just some of the events that we hold during the year. The way that I was introduced through Taffy was through the film extrusion course. And that is an amazing course for a person just coming into the flexible packaging and extrusion industry. So me as a brand new young professional, I got a lot of value out of that course, and that actually kept me constantly keeping up with Taffy and Taffy's events. And that is how I actually became the liaison for the Young Professionals Division. So a few ways that young professionals can become active inside the IFPED division is by attending these events and attending the young professional events that are usually hosted within those events. And also, as everyone else noted, we too have teams within the IFPED division. The program team helps to organize conferences as well as webinars and trainings. We have the marketing and promotion team, products and resources team. We have, and lastly is the digital team, and that is a portion where we work on the websites for the IFPED division, and that is a spot where a lot of young professionals can have a great impact, I believe, because it's a lot of new programming things and getting the website to look nice and to be very user friendly. And I'm trying to see what else can I say here. Yeah, so I highly have enjoyed my time on the IFPED division, and I think everyone is very open to having more young professionals on the division. And if you have any comments or are interested about being on the IFPED division, feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hamilton. My name is Brian Mock, and I'm from the Process Control Division. I'm the owner of Event Capture Systems. We're one of the machine vision companies for process automation and pulp and paper. What is process control? We're kind of the heart and soul of the processes within the paper mill. The DCS, the quality control systems, as well as the scanners. What are areas that young professionals can get involved in? The other question is, why would you want to get involved? The workforce is changing dramatically in the paper industry, if you haven't noticed, and there's going to be a large transfer of information to another generation of people, and that is you all. So the number one thing I would say about this is it's networking and information exchange. Within the process control division, there are many people who have been involved in the paper industry for 30 and 40 years and have a tremendous amount of experience that they do want to get out to the next people who are going to be running these paper mills. And when it talks about running the paper mills, there's a couple of things that we get involved with, and that would be now ever more so important to understand. Things like automation, factory of the future, AIoT, machine vision, deep learning, artificial intelligence, big data. That is all items and technologies that process control has to understand and bring to a way to be utilized within the pulp and paper business. So how can you get involved? And that's understand these. Come to our technical conferences. So within the process control, like a lot of the other predecessors that I've been talking about, we do the tips. We also have the online forums for technical information exchange. We develop the tips, the technical guidelines and practices, sponsor a variety of educational offerings, offer networking and problem solving opportunities. I also write books, the quality control and the QCS. And within the process control, there are what we call common interest groups. And just to give you an idea of the flavor of what those common interest groups are. So these are subcategories of the process control. That's going to be paper machine QCS handbooks, machine vision, which is cameras as sensors to help the paper makers make better decisions, mapping standards, field instrumentation, QCS sensor correlation, and real statistics. So look forward to seeing you at HappyCon. We will be having a meeting on Wednesday for our division group. If there's any questions, please contact Brian Mock on the YP website. Thank you.
Am I online now? Am I live? Good. Okay. Thanks, Brian. I want to second Brian's comment about the changeover in personnel in the industry. So there's all kinds of opportunities available going forward. My name is Tom Mullen. I am semi-retired. I do have a one-person LLC called Process Innovations. It's focused on the use of oxygen in the pulp and paper mill. 30 plus years of experience in that area. Used to work for Air Products and Chemicals. I'm chairman of the Pulp Manufacturing Division. And the division has three committees, the Alkaline Pulping and Bleaching Committee, the Recycle Committee, Recycling, and Nonwood. Our primary event is the Peers Conference, and that stands for Pulping, Energy, Environmental, Recycle, and Sustainability. It's held in conjunction with the Engineering Division. This year it's going to be held in November 7th through 10th in Atlanta. There's a YP breakfast on Monday, Women in Industry and Young Professionals breakfast. Also at this conference is a add-on, pretty unique in the International Chemical Recovery Conference. And co-located with us at Peers is the International Bioenergy and Bioproducts Conference. So a lot of exceptional papers this year. We do definitely hope to and expect to have an in-person conference. In terms of getting involved, from our perspective, we're always looking for people to join APB, which is Alkaline Pulping and Bleaching, and as I said, Recycle and Nonwood. We typically have two meetings annually. One is at Peers, and the other one is in the spring. And we surely look forward to anyone interested in participating. There's obviously steering committees, and we're always looking for people to put up their hands and help us in this regard. Typically, we start as a secretary in either a secretary in the committee, and then over time, you move through the stages and ultimately take the chair position. So that's it. Thank you, and I will hand it over to Bud Chase of Tissue.
Okay, thank you. My name is Bud Chase. I'm Vice President of Tissue for a company called EDT. We specialize in enzymes. I've been in the industry about 33 years, which is kind of scary to say out loud, but I've been involved in Taffy about all of that time. And it's been very helpful for me just to network with people and learn mostly. I'm kind of at a point in my career now where I can contribute back, but just looking back, I think I could have contributed even as a young professional, and I would highly encourage any of you, if you're thinking about joining any of the committees out there and jumping onto a working group, to don't sell yourself short. You can contribute early and right away. As I said, I represent the tissue division as co-chair. Suzanne Blanchette is the other co-chair with me. She led Cascade Tissue Group for a number of years and is now a board member of Resolute Tissue. Our activities in tissue are very similar to a lot of the other divisions. We've got a couple of committees, which I'll get to in a second, but I think the main thing that's different for tissue is that it is an actual consumer products segment of our industry. I think if we're making boxes or fine paper or newsprint or pulp, these are highly technical products that are typically sold on a pure technical basis, whereas tissue is very high tech, but it also has that layer of branding and marketing and sales direct to a consumer. And because of that, it has been a little bit more secretive part of our industry for many, many years. And one of the things that the tissue division allows is for tissue technical people to interact. And I think that's a very valuable thing, especially in the tissue market. Our two main divisions or committees rather are the Yankee Dryer Safety and Reliability Committee. That committee has been around for a long time, and it was originally intended to reduce explosions of Yankee dryers. And it's been very successful in that, and it really assembles some of the world's experts in that area, and they do just phenomenal work. Another more recent committee that we've added in the last couple of years is called the Dust Mitigation Committee, and that is focused on really ways to reduce dust in the tissue mills and the converting operations. Periodically, you will see in the news large fires. I was involved in one personally many years ago, and I just saw like 3 days ago, Georgia Pacific had one in Florida. So these are common things. They've been going on for years, and hopefully this committee can make an impact in that area. There's been really excellent participation on that committee. It's up over 45 members now from all companies that produce tissue and supply to tissue. We have tissue training. We put on 101, 201, and 202 courses periodically. So if you have interest in tissue, even if you're not in tissue right now, there's an opportunity there to attend one of those training courses and learn a lot more about it. The instructors are really top-notch experts that have been in the industry a very long time. Our events coming up are, we've got TissueCon coming up October 4th in Atlanta. We have a tissue track there within TaffyCon. And I would just close by saying everybody's welcome. Any young professional is welcome to join any of our committees. And sort of the way we function once you're on a committee, we break into working groups that are typically 4 to 10 people. So it's working group, network, learn, and you can contribute right from day one. Don't wait, and we welcome anybody that wants to join. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. Thank you.
Hey, my name is Sarah Dawkins, and I am the Vice Chair of the Women in Industry Division, and I am a Key Account Manager for Stellantis in Anderson, South Carolina. Ways that you can get involved with the Women in Industry: we have multiple subcommittees. We choose the Women of the Year award winner. We have a subcommittee that deals with the Girl Scouts and trying to do some outreach. Basically, we're trying to empower women in the industry to be strong leaders, as well as, foster diversity within the industry. We're not just comprised of women. We have some males that join us as well. And we are always looking for people to help us. We have a couple different events. We had the Women in Industry conference in June. Normally that is tied with PaperCon, but as other people have mentioned with the COVID stuff, we've gone to virtual for some things, but we hope to do it again next year. And we have some activities that you can look out for at HappyCon in October. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Suadu Camara from the standards team. As a young professional, you have probably used Taffy standards test methods in the past. The benefits of reviewing a Taffy standard by joining a standard-specific interest group called an SSIG are endless. Many of our 30 to 40-year veteran SSIG members have been part of the review process from the beginning of their career. They all mention how it has helped them expand their knowledge and their network. It has also helped them stimulate their mind and over time become expert in their field. It has become a sense of pride for many members to be part of implementing their knowledge. However, it is not important for young professionals to be expert to engage in a review process because they can help with proofing papers, test methods, and confirm they read well and are understandable to someone who is not overly familiar with the details. Everyone can play a role. It only takes a few hours per standard every 5 to 10 years. I encourage anyone to join a SSIG to increase your network and collaborate with like-minded individuals. Contact standards at taffy.org. As a young professional, you are the future of standards. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shannon Worschalowski. I'm the training manager at Taffy. There's many ways that we would love to have young professionals get engaged with our courses. So our courses run from introductory all the way to advanced for e-learning, face-to-face, and company classrooms. Our courses are vetted via industry needs assessments and peer-reviewed by our industry experts. If there are any needs that you need for your company as an individual, both technical and soft skills, we would love to hear from you. This year, we've ran a number of our virtual courses from Craft Recovery Operations, Tissue 101, and Introduction to Craft Pulping and Bleaching. We will be having our first face-to-face course down in St. Petersburg, Florida, for Craft Recovery Operations and Introduction to Pulping. Get involved by reaching out at training@taffy.org. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Peter Hart. I am the Director of Research and Development for WestRock. I've been a Taffy member for 40 years. I am currently the Editor-in-Chief of Taffy Journal and serve on the Board of Directors. I'm here to represent Taffy Journal and Publishing. Taffy Journal publishes between 45 and 65 technical papers and technical briefs every year. We invite submissions from everybody of all walks within the paper industry, and we constantly need people to do peer review work as well. So please reach out and get involved. I'm also here to represent the publishing group. We publish textbooks on various topics. Things that we have published over the last few years include advances in wet end chemistry, the bleaching of pulp, brown stock washing, craft recovery boilers, lime kilns, and recausticizing. Anybody can work on these textbooks. If you have a concept, you put it together in a concept pitch and reach out to Taffy Publishing, and they will work with you to get it published. A current project that we are working on is the next edition of chemical recovery in the alkaline pulping industries. That current textbook is a bestseller, which is 30 years old, and we're currently trying to update it. Please get involved. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter. I'm Scott Frasca with Mini Fibers. We are a precision cutter of synthetic and natural fibers that are used in the paper and wet laid nonwovens industries. And I'm here to talk to you today about a couple of groups. The first one being the local sections. I'm the chair of the local section operating team or officer team. And we have 8 local sections within Taffy, one of which you already heard a little bit about. It's more topic focused, and that's based in Chicago on corrugating. The other 7 local sections are more geographically based throughout the country. These local sections all have meetings, some more than others during the course of the year. These meetings can provide not only technical, but professional programming and great opportunities for networking. And it's really, they're an awesome opportunity for the young professionals to get involved, to help influence what type of programming they'd like to see, what type of training they might like to see during the course of the year that's presented at the local sections. These local sections also, for the most part, do scholarship fundraising and present scholarships to the members, families that are in the local section. So it's a great opportunity to give back that way. And additionally, the local sections all work with multiple student chapters. So you may, during your education time, may have also been in touch with some of the local chapters that way. So we would love to have you get involved. Probably the easiest way is to reach out either to myself or to Lisa, or reach out to local sections at taffy.org. And just as an information, on October 5th at HappyCon, the local section officers team will be having an open committee meeting at noontime with lunch. So any young professional that would like to come by and sit in on a meeting would love to have you. And then also just to touch base quickly on something we did mention earlier, the Fun Run Committee. I also chair that. We've provided $190,000 in scholarship money to the various Taffy scholarships. And we will be having our 17th run in Charlotte on May 4th of 2022. And we'll actually be kicking off our programming to get ready for that on Monday. So we are very active on Taffy Connect and would love to have some young professionals involved in the committee on that also. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I'm Roger Smith. I retired from the industry in 2020 after a 40-year career. I've been a Taffy member since 1984. And I was actually a charter member of the YP organizing committee before it became a division. I represent the Couch Pitt University division. I'm an emeritus member of that organization, inducted in 2008, and I served as an officer, both as a vice president and president of that organization. And I continue to remain in service as the chairman of the scholarship committee. Couch Pitt University is a nonprofit organization founded in 1992, became a separate division of Taffy a few years later. It was developed by a group of non-degreed paper makers who earned their degree, that was their term, their degree, in the Couch Pit. Hence, the name of the organization became Couch Pitt University. It's an invitation-only organization of no more than 100 active members. To achieve membership, you must be nominated by a present member of Couch Pitt University, have that nomination seconded by another member, and then it's voted on by the entire membership before anyone can join the organization. There are basic qualifications, must be 25 years of experience in the paper industry, at least 50 years of age. Yes, we are a bunch of dinosaurs. Must have attained a career position of paper machine superintendent or higher. Must be of good moral character and have the respect of your peers in the industry. The one exception to the age and industry guidelines is that the PIMA Superintendent of the Year is automatically extended an invitation. We have both men and women as members. Our basic purpose is to perpetuate the art of papermaking and to sustain this art by supporting and mentoring those young people in the industry who will follow us. A big part of that purpose is to give scholarships to students from the premier pulp and paper schools. We support 10 schools to help develop those future paper makers. We started out with one scholarship award many years ago, and I'm happy to report in 2022 we'll expand from 6 to 8 scholarships awarded next year. Where you can interface with us at HappyCon, we will be, we're very excited about being part of the mentor match activity on Sunday afternoon. We will be sponsoring one of the superintendent roundtables on Tuesday, and undoubtedly we will be up early in the morning one of the days to conduct a one of the hot topic breakfasts. So please show up there. How do we sustain ourselves or sustain the industry? Through our scholarship program, through mentor support, and we also have a college outreach program where we try to get to the universities that we support. If you have any more questions about CPU, please don't hesitate to get back with me. Thank you.
Hello.
You're good, Margaret.
Oh, hello, I'm Margaret Gorog. I'm a metallurgical engineer with International Paper, and I've held every position with the engineering division. It consists of technical professionals with chemical and mechanical engineering knowledge and experience. We focus on the application of engineering principles in design, construction, operations, and maintenance of pulp and paper equipment. We have 4 committees, the Corrosion and Materials Engineering Committee, Energy Recovery and Recost Committee, the Environmental Working Group, and the Plant Engineering and Project Management Committee. This committee covers capital projects, maintenance, and reliability. These committees meet fairly regularly, whether via conference call or at conferences. So as for our main activities, we develop, collect, retain, and transfer information relevant to the committees. We do this through tips, host webinars, we author articles, conference papers. Recently, we've contributed chapters to the new book on lime kilns. We also organize the Peers Conference with the Pulping Division, and it's coming up soon. It'll be November 7th to 10th in person in Atlanta. And on behalf of the division, I want to invite you to attend the conference. If you'd like any more information on this division or the conference, you can contact me or Lisa Stevens, the division manager. Thanks.
Thank you so much, everyone. Margaret, if you wouldn't mind muting, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for telling us about your division and welcoming young professionals into your areas of Taffy. Thanks again to Larry for spending some time with us today. It was great to have you with us. So one last thing, if anybody has some last minute questions, feel free to put those in the chat and we will field those here now. If there are no questions, I'll just keep on keeping on. So one shameless plug that I do have though, Roger mentioned it, the Hot Topic breakfast on Tuesday morning at HappyCon. It's at 6:30. I'll be there bright-eyed and bushy-tailed talking about some stuff. Hope to see you guys there if anybody there is there as well. So we hope that you enjoyed today's event and that we'll see you at an upcoming event such as TaffyCon or our YP Mixer coming up on November 16th. We hope that you find value in your Taffy membership and that you stay involved throughout your career. Watch for a survey coming from us, and in true infomercial fashion, but wait, there's more. For anybody that completes that survey, we'll be choosing one winner of a Grubhub gift card. So we really want your feedback on this as to what you thought about the event and how it worked for you. So thanks for attending today's event and see you soon.